All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our call with Kalen King. As always, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Start with Greg Pickle.
Good morning, Kalen. Thanks for your time today.
Good morning.
Kalen, when you look at this Michigan offense, what are some of the ways you see it as ways they can challenge you? And then what ways do you think you match up well with it?
Oh, well, I feel like the Michigan offense is very balanced. They got a lot of playmakers over there. They got a strong running game. They got some consistent receivers. So I feel like it'll be a very good matchup for us.
Rich Carcella.
Kalen, what does it mean to you to be playing this game at Michigan Stadium, not far from home? And how many friends and family will you have there?
I mean, it means a lot because, first of all, I'm from Michigan originally. So, it's always good to, it's almost like a homecoming game because, I get to go back to, who I'm familiar with. I can see a lot of familiar faces. And I can just get a chance to play against a lot of people that I'm already, familiar with from back home. So, I plan on having, a lot of people at this game.
Tyler Donahue.
Kalen, what do you think your defense learned about itself through the 5-0 start? And where do you think you were able to kind of focus in a little bit extra with that bye week?
I think we our defense learned that we got a lot of playmakers on the field. We got a lot of positions that's very stacked all across the board. And I feel like what was the second question again?
What were some areas that you really focused in on during the bye week as a defensive group?
During the bye week, it just allowed us to just focus in on Michigan more, the personnel, their formations, the schemes, what they're most likely to do. So I feel like we got a good grasp of the Michigan team. We just ready to go out there and perform.
Daniel Gallen.
Hey, Kalen. Joey Porter Jr. leads the nation in Past Breakups with 10, while you run third with 9. How much do you push each other to succeed day to day?
We push each other a lot, man. Practice is very energetic, man. We always competing. We always trying to find a way to just get better, whether that be with the receivers, with ourselves. We always push each other, and that's with the whole group, not just me and Joey, just everybody in the room, from me, Joey, Daquan, Marquise, Johnny, Cam Miller, Christian Driver. Everybody in the room pushes each other to just get better. And I feel like that's going to help us in the long run.
Daniel Gallen.
Kalen, this might be kind of an obvious or easy question, but how do you turn those pass breakups into interceptions? What's kind of the key there to, go get through that, I guess, little bit from, a PBU to an interception?
I feel like it's really just all about positioning and once you have that opportunity, just capitalizing on it. And that's really it, really. I feel like though when I get my first one though, the other ones are gonna come fairly easy. Not fairly easy, but it's gonna be more of a domino effect, I would say.
Andrew Clay.
You talked about going home and playing Michigan, knowing some of these guys. Is this something you and your brother have talked about? Is there a player you want to go out and just lay a hit on? How juiced are you to just be back playing some of these guys and be back playing in your home state?
Yeah, I'm really juiced, man. It means a lot to me because I'm from Michigan, so just the bragging rights, that's always a thing. And then it's really just I'm excited to play every game. So this really is nothing different. It's just I'm going back home. That's really the only difference. But I'm still excited to go out there and battle with my team.
Sam Cohn.
Hey, Kalen, thanks for doing this. I'm curious, for you and for Joey specifically, how do you feel like Manny Diaz's defense, or whatever's changed about Manny Diaz's defense, kind of plays into your strengths? And then if you were able to do anything interesting during the off day of the bye week.
I just feel like Manny's defense just allows us to be ourselves. He calls a lot of certain play calls for us, and he looks out for us a lot. So I feel like the defense just helps us. It just allows us to be the playmakers that we are.
Mark Brennan.
Kalen, how did you end up at Penn State instead of Michigan? You and Kobe. Thanks.
I just felt like the vibe was right. I was talking to Coach Terry Smith and Coach James Franklin during most of my recruitment, and I just feel like those two guys were just like the most genuine people. They didn't try to sell me too much. They kept it real with me throughout the whole process, and I just feel like that went a long way. That's like most of the reason why I'm here.
Spencer Ripchard.
So Kalen, what is the difference from last year's bye now that Manny Diaz is defensive coordinator?
You said what's the difference between last year's bye and this year's bye?
Yeah, and this year's bye now that Manny Diaz is the defensive coordinator. Thank you.
I mean, it just allowed us to just get a better grasp of our future opponents. Manny stressed the importance of film study and the importance of knowing your opponent, the importance of knowing what's coming next. So I feel like he did a great job with us on that and preparing us to go out and beat Michigan.
Rich Garcelle.
Kalen, your bio says you want to be a sports analyst. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so put your analyst cap on, and how would you evaluate first Kobe's play this year and then your play this year?
Oh, I would just say, my play, I've been playing fairly well, but there's a lot of things that I got to clean up. And, Kobe, I feel like he's the same way. He's made a lot of splash plays for us, and he showed a lot of signs of greatness. So I feel like if we just keep building and capitalizing and taking it week by week and perfecting, having great practices, having great meetings, and just applying it to when we get on the field, we'll be in really good shape.
Tyler Donahue.
Kalen, you didn't get a chance to play a ton of football with PJ Mustipher last year as a freshman, but now that you have played 5 more with him, what is different about this defense and the way you communicate and the way he leads now that he is on the field with you guys?
PJ is he's like the stone of our defense, man. He controls the middle. He's very vocal, man. He always got the team's back. Anytime the defense is anytime we going through something where we're not playing as we should, he's always there to pick us up. He always got the encouraging words for us during halftime and stuff like that. I feel like PJ has a very pivotal role in our defense, man. And I don't think we'd be the same defense without him.
Daniel Gallen.
Kalen, when you talk about being from Michigan and growing up in Michigan, who were the players that you looked up to when you're in middle school, earlier high school, whether that's Lions, other high schoolers? I mean, who did you kind of look up to as you were growing up in that area?
Oh, in that area, I look up to a lot of people, man, because I used to watch football all the time. I used to go to a lot of high school games with my dad and my brother, man. I used to watch Donovan Peoples-Jones a lot. I used to watch Lavert Hill. I used to watch Ambry Thomas. I used to watch Donovan Johnson. I used to watch Jalen Kelly Powell, just because I went to Cass Tech. So, Cass Tech always had a lot of good players, like Damon Webb, Mike Weber. A lot of the dudes like those I always just seen growing up because, I went to Cass Tech and before I even got to high school, I was just watching games, just watching high school, seeing what school I just really wanted to go to. And Cass Tech stood out to me because they had so many players of that caliber. So those are just some of the names.
Sam Combs.
Kalen, you mentioned before still feeling like you have some things to clean up. I'm curious from before the start of the season to where we are now coming out of the bye week to kind of where you want to be. Where would you draw the line between where you feel like you've grown and where you still have room to grow, specifically in your game?
I would just say I still have room to grow and recognizing formations and personnel and what's coming, and stuff and route concepts and stuff like that. I feel like I can get a better grasp on that, and I'm working on that in the film room and stuff like that. But I feel like I've been doing a very solid job with my tackling and my technique, and it's making plays on the ball.
Time for 3 more. Rich Garcelle.
Kalen, when you watch film of J.J. McCarthy, what are you seeing? Why has he been successful this year?
I see a quarterback who's very talented, man. He's a very talented kid. He's young, but he's experienced. He got a certain swagger to him that's not a lot of quarterbacks in the country have. But I feel like it's definitely going to be a good game when we see him because he's a very good quarterback, and we seen a couple good quarterbacks this year. So I just believe this is going to be another one of those games.
Tyler Donahue.
You guys got Keziah back on the defensive line last game. He was involved with the goal line package. What does it mean to add an experienced Big Ten player at this stage of the season, and what does it do for your depth up front?
I mean, it does a lot because we got a lot of dudes playing very well up front as far as defensive line, and I just feel like the addition of Keziah Izzard just benefits us because he's a playmaker. He's a very good player, so I feel like it does nothing but benefit us because we got another playmaker on the defensive front who's going to make plays for us.
Last question, Mark Bryan.
Kalen, how excited are your parents and family for this game? I'm sure there's a buzz about it in your home area there. Thanks.
Yeah, they very excited, man. They've been talking about it for like a couple of days now, man. I'm just excited to get down there and see a lot of familiar faces and people that I know. But they're very excited for this game.